Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be going over a little disturbance that's making its way through the eastern US right now, and another one dropping down right behind it that'll affect areas further north, including areas in New England, Midwest, and upper Mid-Atlantic, including possibly closer to the cities. If you do enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing to friends. Let's get started. I'll also be talking about the pattern next week, as it could get interesting. Not quite like the storms we've recently saw where it's overrunning, but it could be a little bit of a different setup. So talk about that in the later portion of the video. The thumbnail kind of foreshadows it. So right now I have satellite imagery pulled up and a couple of distinct features. First, we can start in the west. Big upper level low, always been spinning well off the coast though, just bringing in some cloud cover for areas of the Pacific Northwest, likely some light showers, but nothing too impactful. But what it is part of is the North Stream of energy. Okay, so it's dropping down North Stream energy through. You can see that with this light convective, these light convective elements, and then here's your South Stream right here, and you have a little shortwave right here. So you can see the streams of energy pretty well. And so what we have right here actually is another shortwave, except this shortwave is formed from north piece of energy and a south piece of energy. This is going to make its way eastward. Could drop some light snow, and currently is dropping some snow for many portions, including areas, here, let's use black, areas over here, northern Kentucky. These areas could end up with some nice snow, especially west of the mountains. And then later on, with kind of the backside of the storm, could be some more snows, portions of northern North Carolina and southern Virginia. It's going to be a very narrow strip of snow, and then some lighter snow showers up into the mid-Atlantic, DC, up through possibly Baltimore, with some lighter snow showers, most likely dustings at best. But the clippers behind it could pose a little more of a threat. So if we're looking all down a surface graphical map, you can kind of see that all here. So this is the latest analysis. Here's the low right here, trailing warm front. Here's your real low, I'd argue, is right around here. Your warm front, a little bit of a stationary front through here, and your cold front. So it's some light, it's warm air convection induced snows, but it's very light, but has been some heavier banding in these areas. And then it'll continue to move generally like this, sagging south. So heaviest should stay south for most steadiest snows, but some lighter stuff could get further north. So we'll watch that as we progress today. And then in the west, just a big ridge. Big ridge. I was about to say something bad, but big ridge in the west. And here's another little short wave, a little low pressure right here. It's kind of all one little distinct storm. The short wave itself is pretty defined. It's just weak energy, weak warm air convection, mainly because it's not amplified, and it's actually kind of weakening as it goes through, and especially with the mountains, it'll shred it out. And so the strongest it's been is probably right now. Maybe over the next few years and next few hours, it intensifies before falling apart once it especially gets past the mountains. Let's talk about alerts. That's really the only storm that's forcing any alerts on the map. Some dense fog advisories, scattered alerts over here in the west. Florida with some cold weather advisories. I think those might be frost advisories, actually. Yeah, they are. Frost advisories for portions of north central Virginia, Florida, sorry. And then some special weather statements and winter weather advisories, all right here associated with the little wintry kind of mess we have with the little weak clipper and some stuff, some hazardous weather advisories in eastern North Carolina. So this is all with that little low, and it'll keep moving like that and bring that light wintry weather. And the winter weather advisory is 1 to 3 inches generally. Isolated spots 2 to 4. So let's kind of look at that. Here it is. Here's your little band. So over the next few hours, could get a little warm test, but it's actually bringing warmer air pretty north. And so in the past few storms, especially central and southern Kentucky, even it's really extreme northern parts of Kentucky, Louisville even will probably mix a little. But many of these areas that has had snow, all the snow cover is likely going to melt. Okay, it's likely going to melt, just given it's going to get warm. Portions of Tennessee, for example, Nashville, any snow that's remaining on the ground will melt. Likely at least half the pack, maybe some light snow showers at the end. Here's kind of some energy. RGM is not that enthusiastic. You know what? We'll go with RGM. So here's your light snow showers, very weak. And this low just traverses south and east and starts to fall apart. You'll see this. But you get a little backside redevelopment. This is where we're watching a little swath of 1 to 2 inches in northern North Carolina and southern Virginia, South Carolina, anywhere that did snow. Any remaining little splashes will likely be washed away. And then behind that, there's your clipper. This could be a little more interesting. Depending on how amplified this little upper level low gets, if it stays amplified, it could bring some interesting snows for portions of into the DMV, Philly, all along here, and then it'll amplify and head out. So let's kind of go HRRR, just get some better resolution. 18, here we'll go 19Z just to highlight this current storm. Or low, and there it's a little more aggressive with snow showers on the north end. We can go to 18Z to get a little longer look. And so, excuse me, those are your snow showers. A little bit of a lull, and then there we're watching. Could be interesting, some mix. Could easily put down a quick inch or two, and then we'll watch the clipper behind it. Now, in the future, mainly talking about next week, what's next? Okay, you kind of probably saw that with my thumbnail. So first you'll have that clipper starting to dive down, tall ridge in the west, some sort of Gulf of Alaska low right here. You got some blocking. Everything is good. Honestly, this is a very favorable pattern for cold and even some wintry weather, except we don't really have anything, any energy really linking up. If we did, it could have been something big. This pattern stays primed. And so it continues to stay pretty good. Another little trough, unfortunately, that's really with the clipper. And so there's your clipper right there. Does start to kind of bleed eastward though. You have a reinforced block. Okay, Gulf of Alaska low though is nice and placed. Here you have signs of a shortwave right here, and that's gonna be important. But you have a ridge here in the west, and your main trough axis heads out here. So you kind of get opportunities of a split flow. You'd want this colder air undercutting this ridge a little bit more, but you do get opportunities, and it just depends if the short wave can eject. What this shows to me, at least, this is really this week, but here we'll go all the way into early next week. We'll actually go to, I don't know if 12Z loaded out. Yeah, 12Z did it. We'll go to OZ and go to like midweek. What this kind of signal is to me, okay, this signal right here, it's not, so you have a negative PNA first, so you get a little bit of, this is technically a pattern change, negative PNA, blue heights, lower heights into Alaska, so positive VPO, negative PNA, Greenland blocking, it's kind of breaking down, Atlantic Ridge way out to the east, and you get, but your trough is right here. And so what this does show is you have some sort of 50-50 low and elongated high pressure or low pressure right here, okay, with pretty high heights right here, and you see these kinks. That means there could be Alaskan high or Arctic high, sorry, not Alaskan, Arctic high right here. What does that mean? That means if you do get a shortwave from here, that'll likely cut because of the ridge. You have an Arctic high, which would cause our favorite cold air damming events, CAD, C-A-D. Okay, it's where we have warmer heights, colder, denser air undercutting those heights, and so you can get snow, ice, typically over terrain in portions of the mid-Atlantic and northeast. Okay, so you can possibly hang on to more snow as you get further deeper into the northeast. But we're going to watch those events, I'd say, mainly next week before we get a little bit of a breakdown, a little bit of a break. This will be a better signal for a cold air damming event, and then get another little ridge. But we'll have to watch this far out, but let's watch this, see how it goes. This is mainly your southeast ridge, so the storm track could feature a couple cutters. Okay, it could feature a couple cutters. Again, this is very far out, so takes with a grain of salt. Could go something like that. If you do have these 50-50 lows kind of extend a little more east, deeper heights over here, you could get another Arctic high that could cause cold air damming again, so you can get some wintry weather in the east. So we'll watch this, but at least some sort of relaxation of the relentless cold in the east looks to be on the way. Getting into midweek next week, but mainly the following weeks after mid-February. So until then, a couple more winter weather shots. Even then, even if we did get this pattern right here to verify, we're not done with winter. Could end up with a quick pattern change back to colder weather by end of February, early March to round off this winter, which has been pretty eventful, but we still have time to go, and this could easily flip. The models with the warmth have been terrible. Long range output has had some consistency, so we'll see how that stands in the coming days and weeks. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing with friends, and I'll be with you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.